Art has been defined in many ways as an expression, as communication, and as a mirror to the soul. But more than just visuals or technique, art is a language, one that speaks when words fall short. Art is more than just something we see, it's something we feel. It has helped people heal from loss, speak about injustice, celebrate identity, and connect with others.
Alright, so good afternoon, Day Ate. No? So first and foremost, we would like to ask lang what is your name and of course your age.
My name is Peony-on-Fire. I'm an artist name, but my real name is Fleur Puao niya. I'm 29 years old.
Nagstudy ko og arts sa UP Cebu. Studio arts akong gikuha.
For like, teka na, from what year?
Nag-start ko pandemic June 2020 and then graduate ko last year 2024.
So, you talked about your artist name, no, Peony-on-Fire. So, what is the story behind that artist name, di ay?
Ako na siyang gigamit around 2017 and I decided to use a different name kaya I really don't like my real name. I just wanted to use like two elements na I think represented my personality. Like something, maybe something cute and at the same time something destructive, so mura siya paradox. So, mara na, basically.
So, like, Peony is like your favorite flower or is it just...
Oo, sa una, man ang favorite flower kay mo ito ang uso pag Tumblr days na ako. Wala na din ako Tumblr ron actually. Oo.
So every artwork has a story, right? And so I want to ask you, how did you make art, or what influenced you to do art?
When I was young, kay gi-encourage ko sa akong parents para ma-creative. So sige ra jud ko draw og kanang color until high school ko. Pero gi-take seriously na ko ang painting sa 2016 na. Kanya self-taught ra jud ko sa 2016 up until nakasud ko sa UP in 2020.
So, with this, no, kanang imong background with art, what's my like more history or like what made you pursue your career as an artist?
Wala ko laing talent. Wala jud ko laing talent. Pag sugod na ko college 2013 pa to and akong first take kay medical course actually, and then pag abot na ako third year kay nahagpong nako tanang majors nako. Yan mao na to ang sign nako nga murag all or nothing na ni mag-artist na jud ko dili. So mao na to.
So imong more gi-prioritize nimo ang imong preference or then nganong gipili man nimo first ang medical dayon?
Gibili sa akong parents, not me.
Okay. But eventually you found your passion na jud.
Akong gi-assert akong self kay marag di na jud wala na jud ko nalipay ato. Kunya Acabal ko nga mas flourish ko diri.
So I heard earlier that your name was like from inspired by kana sa Tumblr, but also I want to ask like what is your influences in art? Were there any artists, movements, or personal experiences that influenced your style or approach?
So, ang ako yung main influence sa akong art style karon kay digital art. Kay katong nag-drop out na ko from medical school, sige akong immerse akong self sa art nga naa sa internet. And a lot of them are digital artists like si Lois Van Barl or Lois VB. Ato na time ang akong digital tools kay gubaon, so dili kay ko maka-practice pero may digital art. So ang style ni Lois kay practice na ko in traditional. So dito na to nagsugod jud. And then ang akong favorite artist kay si Frida Kahlo. Kay sa una I thought kay gwapa lang jud yung art, then daghang kay plans, hindi kay siya tan-aon. Pero the more I studied her history and her story kay murag na-amaze ko because there's so much suffering and stories sa iyang artworks bisag portrait ra siya of herself.
Actually, sad at ka na part sad si Frida sa amo like na-discuss sa amo subject. So it's nice na like she was also like one of your inspirations sad when it comes to art. And since naman kay like we're favorite na artist, napasad kay like favorite subject to focus in on your art and why?
Kasagaran, we're natural lang dyan nga mga girl nga characters ang magawa sa akong art. Sugad pa dyan ni before ko ni suit og UP. So I have always been drawn to depict little girls. Karon akong main character kay kuan siya. Mura siya age 7 nga long hair nga nag white dress. Makita na nimo sa akong feed lately. She kind of reminds me a bit of myself, and ang akong artworks man are always about how I feel or what I go through, and I can best depict them through a character. Oo. So, yeah.
So with that in mind, what is your favorite medium?
Kuan, I have a favorite medium until kapuyan ko and I move to the next one. So, magkuan na jud ko, move na jud ko from painting to sculpture or digital. Magkuan na jud ko, magtuyo-tuyo na jud ko. Those are my main favorite ones.
And in addition to that, sad aton na kayo, unsa man imong or what style of figuration do you usually use for your artworks, and unsa usually ang mga context na ginagamit?
Kung ano, like nag-clarify ko gabi what do you mean by figurations ni Aera. So, from what I understand sa inyong examples, I think siguro kuan siya, pop surrealism. Ang pinakaduol kay surrealism is dreamlike, iyang what's the right term? Dili na siya realistic ba? Dream. Basta mo siya dream, almost unreal. Unya pop kay I take inspiration from popular media man sa ito. So yeah, basically mao na akong matupag. I hope that's okay.
So next is what is the story behind your favorite subject, medium, or style of figuration?
Okay. Favorite story din. Na ako'y type of artworks where akong combine ang painting ug sculpture. Mao to akong thesis. Nakitaan ba na ninyo? Basta naara siya sa akong akong feed nga naay box frame unya naa siya lungag nga naay sculpture sa sud. Ni sugo jud na siya because I like depicting how something is always going on underneath what people see. Tawag na ko anak kay mixed media shadow boxes di ay.
And in creating all these artworks, no, ate ka nang unsa man ang imong mga nasinati ng mga personal struggles as an artist?
Kuan gud. Karon akong struggle is manang mag-produce og art on a regular basis kay after a show pag January nag-hiatus ako kadiyot kay I wanted to reflect on a lot of things, like I wasn't sure if nalipay ko asa ang direction sa akong art karon, and there are very many issues sa art scene nga akong na sugatan nga mura akong na-discourage sa pagka-artist. Siguro about sa Manila art scene lang, and then mo to karon kay naglisod ko balik og produce na hinahinay ra ko. Sumao lang na burning out, lisod jud na siya when artist ka.
And how does art change your perspective in life? Yeah.
Life is the reason why I make art, and sometimes art is the reason why I want to keep going on in life. Yan na siya.
Wow.
Yan na siya.
Good questions. Sige. Can you share some instances where an art's impact is evident, not just for yourself, but also to the people around you?
Ang ma-think bitaw nako na example ani kay naghimo kog sound art for a class pag third year nako sa UP. So kabaw naman man ang sound art, no, make art with the use of sound, the sense of sound and listening. So gibuhat nako ato na time kay I listed like negative things about myself, and then I asked my classmates to read it, and akong gi-record And then on the day pag-present na ako silang gi-blindfold tanan. Kanya akong gi-play ang kuan ang ilang voice recordings very loud. Kanya gibalik-balik na ako hangtod sa nag-overlap na sila ug hangtod ni Fade. Kanya para nako wala ra kay these are kanang lines about myself that I hear all the time like Fleur is very OA, Fleur is too much, Fleur is ingana ba. Pero after ato kay murag na-shock ko kay na affected jud akong classmates ato murag naka-reflect sa sila about themselves ato. So something kana. That was one instance of that.
What kind of impact do you hope that your art will have?
So akong art kay personal kayo siya. And sometimes maka-question ko if relevant ba jud akong gibuhat or if it makes any connection to anyone ba jud. So I guess there are some people man jud nga muduol na ko nga Fleur kanang I really appreciate your art kay it made me feel connected, it made me feel seen. So kana lang I hope pod nga one day kay I'll be brave enough to address like the bigger issues for society in my art. Okay, right now I'm still trying to get to know myself and siguro try to gain courage pa dyan to speak out about stuff.
And for the next question is, art is deeply connected to psychology, that it is often seen as a direct expression of the subconscious. And with that, what aspect or aspects of the human condition do you feel are often ignored or overlooked? And how do you use your art to make sure that people would not turn a blind eye, hoping that this will be addressed, or at least bring awareness to it through your art?
I think people's toxic behaviors are overlooked because they think normal ra na sila. Like, for example, ni grow up ko nga mo lash out sa uban because abi man gud nako normal ra mo lash out ang akong guardian sa ako. So, when I was naabot sa point sa era sa akong life na gi-call out nako, gi-correct ko pag-ayo, I felt a lot of guilt and shame, and kato nga guilt and shame ako silang gi-pour sa akong art. So, if it weren't for my art, dili guro ko maka-process to forgive myself and or found the courage to ask forgiveness from others. So maybe with the personal nature sa akong art, I'm able to remind people that it's okay to feel, and feeling difficult things are real and something that we all go through.
So, as AI art becomes more prominent, what is your insights on AI and art, and particularly this AI, can they convey the same emotions the same way that your art does?
Para nako AI is not going away kay AI is like the photography for classical artists in the past. Kay mao man to sa una nga people in the art world usually aim to copy reality, pero pag abot sa photography kay mura sila nakapungutan na unsa na may na point nga there's a technology that can do it better na. So mao to na naabot ta sa point nga na ay modern art, na abstraction, na ay performance art nga dili ra kanang ang aim is to copy reality ba. And I think mausad ni ang atong this is the generation's photography. So I think mapugos ang mga artists from now to find ways to make art that AI cannot. So siguro they'll explore different human senses, like siguro smell or taste. Pero already something that AI cannot do is really replicate the human emotion and the human experiences. So diha pa lang lacking na siya.
Because as what you mentioned said kanina ato no kay kuan you used art to like express what you were feeling before katong sa mga na-feel yung gigamit ang art as a medium to express your feelings yun, and it's really something AI that cannot really capture yun. And naka-mention ka nga currently kay wala dili pa ka kay ba unsa ning pagbalik sa imong art nga progression or something na. So mag-ask lang ta mi unsa imong or like how do you see your art in the future?
I really hope nga maka-start na ko og make og big works. kanang like makonsider pa man na og small ang 2x3 kani mao man sa dako. Pero yeah, kay I'm used to working in small sizes. So diha, and I really hope dili na kanang dili na kay cute akong art. I don't know, sana sa akong insecurity. Gi-instill na sa mga professors nga kanang unsa man yung art cute ra kaayo. Wag magbuot, pero at the same time murag nadana lang pud nako ba. Kaya kana.
The last question, do you believe art can play a role in addressing environmental and social issues? If so, how do you incorporate those themes into your work?
I believe they can, but for this to work, you have to really mean it. Kay natoy example like appeal mi o art competition sa akong professor nga naa siya theme. I think something about sigaw singing, like something about creating your best work as artist. So kami kay naanad lagi tag high school art poster type of composition mo among gipang draft nya gikasab-an mi. So iyang gi-reframe na imbis nga mag agad mo pag-ayo sa theme, pangutana in yourself, like work around the theme. How can you connect with making your best art? Like, is something holding you back from creating your best art? Or are you kanang, what does it mean for you to create your best art? So, ang ending ato kay daghan sa among class ang nadaog sa kato na competition. So, basically, mo work ni sila na ay mga like you can effectively incorporate these issues into your work if you draw from your personal experiences.
Pwede magkuan, ate follow-up question. You mentioned ka ng nagkuan mo, sa mo reflect mo kung about your best art. So, unsa may ma-consider ani mo personally as your best art?
I think ang best art na ko are the ones that are not really planned. Like, kuan ko overthinker, overplanner, like hadlukan, so I plan every single detail. I think there was one work where nag-reflect ko about the death of my lola, nga lahos-lahos tanan, like wala ko nag-sketch. Ditsura ko sa canvas, ditsura ko gabas, ditsura ko sculpt. Mauto siya, the work was called Flores de Mayo.
Napang may question.
Wala man naabot akong friend, di ko ito pa.
Mas sino ba may question?
Oo.
Lalo na si Jamie. Or is there some, or like other things you want to share pa ate?
Ate. Wala man, sa man among kabisihan karon nag-organize kog event, I think sa UP for an community event. Mo ni among gimitikan diri karon later. So yeah, hopefully around November, if ma-pull off siya.
Like UP Cebu na ate?
Sa Hoya na mo we're working on creating a curatorial statement pa para ma-forward ang proposal sa gallery para ma-secure na namo ang schedule. So please watch out for that.
November ate?
November this year.
Wala na more questions kayo? Ikaw, Harley. Feel ko si Jamie na question.
Mga food.
Yeah, if you had something to say to the next generation of artists, what would you say?
Kung anong yun? Create from your heart, char. Like, ayaw pada sa uso, pirmi, makay, ang uso manggod, bawa ra na ikadugay. So, mana, I think genuine art will stand the test of time. Hindi ka dyan siya sa imuhang own experiences. Very cliche.
In the heart of Cebu, Philippines, a young artist named Fleur, who signs her works as Peony-on-Fire, has steadily ignited her place in the local art scene. A graduate of the University of the Philippines, Cebu, with a Bachelor in Fine Arts, major in Studio Arts, Fleur's artistic journey is anything but linear. Her path was paved with trials, moments of doubt, and the quiet resilience of a woman determined to define her own narrative.
Peony-on-Fire's work is a visual diary, whimsical yet profound. From the Disney princesses and anime figures of her childhood sketchbook to the deeply personal female figure she now portrays, each piece is an echo of lived experience. Her art encapsulates the bittersweet reflections of girlhood and the ironic tensions of womanhood. These themes are not just aesthetic choices, they are acts of remembrance, resistance, and reclamation.
Despite discouragement, like being told her cartoonist style lacked value, Fleur remained unswayed. Inspired by the candor of Frida Kahlo, she embraced pop surrealism, an art movement that blends fantastical imagery with grounded human themes. Pop surrealism is a contemporary art movement characterized by dreamlike visuals, bold colors, and a fusion of popular culture with surreal narratives. In her sound art experiment, she invited reflection through discomfort, prompting peers to examine their voices, their actions, and ultimately themselves.
Her perspective on artificial intelligence offers an insight that lingers. Fleur compared today's AI wave to the invention of the digital camera, an innovation once feared to render artists obsolete. But even so, even after it was invented, artists endured. Creativity did not die, it even evolved. So in her view, AI is nothing but another one of these tools, incapable of meaning without human intent. What machines can simulate, they cannot feel. She recalls the raw emotion of painting through grief when her grandmother passed, a moment when art emerged not from skill or planning, but from pure instinct and raw emotion. That, she says, is something AI will never be able to replicate.
Fleur's journey is a testament of human resilience, creative defiance, and the quiet power of authenticity. She teaches us that art is not about fitting into molds, but about breaking them, painting over them, and turning them into mirrors of the soul. Peony-on-Fire is not just an artist's name, it is an embodiment of an identity, fierce, feminine, and ever burning.